You think about your life. I know if I think of my life, there's been one wave of adversity after another in a way. But with that wave of adversity, there's always, because of the practice, followed a wave of uplifting gratitude and freedom and sense of inner strength and power. So, now there's another wave of this pandemic, and it causes a lot of fear in a lot of people. In order to use the practice to deal with all of that and all of our own personal waves of adversity, we have to be able to embrace the tension and pain and fear of whatever it is we're dealing with head on. In other words, apply our own loving attention to our own inner state. And if you do it consistently, you can feel the effect of it. And whatever it is that feels like a hindrance and a tension can simply dissolve and become an increased energy flow, sense of rising above whatever that adversity is. It's not the same as to repress and deny, but it's to embrace and raise above. And, whatever we are dealing with, the same process can be used, the same practice is used, the same trusting in our own basic ability to generate a healing energy. And the gratitude that comes out of it, and that we also can consciously add to our experience, we gradually come to trust more and more and more. And we become less and less and less afraid of the next wave of adversity. For all of us, the ultimate adversity is that we have to face death. But to the degree that we manage to take refuge in this stage between the breaths, between the thoughts, between the worries, the silence, to the extent that we can take refuge there, which we can do by shifting our attention from thinking to the space between the thoughts, to the space between the breaths. And in that silence, in that open space, there is such peace and such freedom. And it's really like taking off a rucksack of heavy weight. So there's nothing really new in what I'm saying. This is what we are talking about here every week. And that is, how do you deal with the tension, the difficulties, the adversity of life through the practice? And the very basic friction breathing and the double breathing exercise and the sense of gratitude and connection with this lineage are all aspects of what frees us ultimately from adversity and attachment to it and feeling under it, under the weight of it. The friction breathing is the very simple breathing down the front, up the back. And the reason it's it's the same as circulation breathing. Those are two terms for the same thing. And the reason it's called circulation breathing is obviously because we're making a circle with our breath by following it with our attention down the front and up the back in a kind of circle or an elongated form. And the reason we call it friction breathing is that as we do that, there's a sense of friction between our individual self and our universal self or higher self. What's meant by that, is that our individual being is not an ego, is not so automatically open to feeling the contact with the deeper higher self. So there's a sense of friction there. And that's what causes us to feel adversity. If we were totally immersed in the universe, in our higher self, we would be totally at ease with whatever is going on in our life. We would feel, oh, well, that's just the will of higher reality and nothing to be concerned about. I am in a state beyond fear, attachment, suffering. So whenever you feel very strong results from doing the circulation breathing, the friction breathing, that means, the friction is working. You're feeling it. You should be feeling an inner fire. As your friction breathing is working, then the fire of your attention and the attention of whoever is teaching and the lineage will help to burn up the resistance, melt the ice in your system in a way so that there's more flow and that you can get in touch with the energy that arises as a result of that heating. People, just be a witness and continue to feel into your own system and allow that friction breathing and the double breathing